This episode of the Community Workbench podcast is brought to you by yours truly, Matt Norn of Remax Bell Park. For all of your real estate needs, call me 860-428-6534. Your dreams are my job. Welcome to the Community Workbench. This is Matt Norn and Kyle Morrissey. We are your hosts of the number one podcast in my basement. At the bench, we try to repair the sense of community. So every week, we bring you small businesses, entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, and pretty much whoever we feel like talking to. And this week, we feel like talking to Drew and Tim Daley of Daley's DJ Services and Daily Pours. Did I get that right?
You got it right.
All right.
Right on.
Tim and Drew, how are you guys?
Doing well. Thank you for having us.
Great. Happy to be here, man.
Welcome, welcome. So usually what we do is we kind of start off with the origin story. Does either one of you want to take on that?
Sure. Yeah, it's quite a long time ago. But in 1989, I started working weddings, and well, matter of fact, I had purchased my first VHS camera,
Oh, wow.
and I was doing some type of shooting somewhere, and somebody had asked, "Hey, do you do weddings?" And I was like, I don't know. I never did a wedding before, but I'm sure I can try it.
Yeah.
So I went and did their wedding, and I started doing a little research on how videographers were doing weddings and the pertinent things that people look for weddings and things. And from that wedding, I went on to another wedding, and I started videotaping another wedding, and then I started getting into it. At the same time, my sister, Carlene, had started her photography business. She had just graduated from. A matter of fact, I think she was still in high school, and we decided to collaborate and get together. And we were originally called Payless Photo
Oh, wow.
back in 1989, 89 or 80, 90, somewhere around there. And then from there, we started doing shows at the high schools. We were doing home shows and things like that. We started promoting our business, and we more or less, I was pretty much working for her. She would send me out when she would do photography, and she would send me out to be the videographer, and she would pay me. And
So those are the two services you started
yeah,
with.
we were doing photography and videography.
Wow.
And it was tough back then because I didn't really have an editor. I didn't know about editing. I
Okay.
tried to edit, and you probably know
Oh,
yourself.
yeah.
It's very,
Editing
very
is
difficult, and we
not
didn't have the
for.
tools back then, or the technology. So I had purchased an editing machine. It wasn't working out, and I was able to get in contact with a guy that lived in around Hartford area, and then he told me, he said, "Listen, you go out and shoot the weddings." And then what I'll do is I'll take your footage and I'll edit it. Back then, we were using VHS tapes. So when they did an editing portion, it would be a second generation. So the tape, when you finally got their wedding tape, it wasn't that great because
Oh, really?
it wasn't high digital like it
Oh,
is
okay.
today.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, um, little known that I knew back then. I went from him, and then I had found another guy that I had got in contact with. He started doing my editing. He was going to New England Tech. He started doing my videos, and the videos started getting better and better.
Nice.
And then we started to do weddings. So we're really getting into the wedding business. And I was doing maybe, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 weddings a year doing videography. And then in 1990, I was doing weddings at different venues. I had bumped in. I was doing a lot of weddings with Tons of Tunes in
Oh,
Plainfield
I
with Pat
remember
Ruffo and his
yeah,
dad.
yeah, yeah.
And Pat had come across to me one day and he goes, "Hey, have you ever thought about learning how to DJ?"
No way.
And I'm like, "Well, might know the music, but I don't know how to mix."
Yeah.
So in 1990, Pat said, "What I'm going to do, I'm going to have you go with my dad." My dad was doing weddings, and he said, "I'm going to have you train with him, and you'll come with me occasionally. And what I'm going to do on Friday nights, I'm going to put you down at Fitzgerald's, down where uh, down in Dayville.
Okay.
It's the Mexican restaurant now.
Oh,
But it
okay.
used to be
Okay.
Fitzgerald's right
Oh,
near
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Joker's and around that
Yeah,
area.
yeah, yeah.
So every Friday night I would DJ down there for very minimal pay, and I would train just on my own, play for 3 or 4 hours, and get it all set. And we were using CDs back then.
Oh,
So I would have Pat would have all of his CDs down there. I'd pull all the CDs out and start playing the music that I was getting accustomed to, and I start picking my own variety of what I wanted to play. Um, and then I progressively, after a year, I started going out on my own, and Pat started sending me out to do weddings. And a few people had come up to me, and they were like, "Tim, you really do a great job DJing. The music that you play is really it really fits the event.
Yeah, yeah,
We really
nice.
love it." And I had really never considered going out on my own, but after about a year and a half, I said, "I think it's time. It's time for me to go out on my own." So I established my own.
Yeah, when you started working for Pat, did you stop doing video? Is that
No,
you
no,
were
good
still
question.
doing
No,
video
I was doing videography and
and
DJ,
DJing?
but of course I couldn't do both at the same time, so I would
Right.
do one or the other.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I was still offering the services.
nice.
So I started getting into more of the DJ aspect of it. I started learning the mixers. I started learning the music, and like I said, people were starting to request me. And as much as I really, you get an opportunity in life, and sometimes you just have to go on your own. You have to move on.
Yeah,
And as much as I appreciate Pat Ruffo and his
right, right.
dad,
Yeah,
everything they did, um, they really got me going. But I took my own personality and put it into the business so I could become my own. So I went on my own and I started the business called. It was Daly's Videography and DJ Service.
okay.
So I was offering both. At that time, I had left my sister. My sister and I weren't collaborating anymore. She was going out on her own, and I was doing my own thing. And it just kept continuing. So I was averaging maybe like 15, 20, maybe 20 weddings a year.
Wow.
But we were doing venues everywhere, and I was getting connections with all these people, and they all liked what we were doing.
Yeah,
So when I just kept continuing, perfecting my craft and learning how to mix and what type of music to play and watching all the different genres and all the different crowds and everybody's starting to get older. Um, we I got to a point where Drew was born in 1998. So I never expected, my son to ever fill the role. I didn't even think of that at that time.
yeah,
Um, so when Drew was about 10 years old, I had pretty much left the videography. I got done with that. Technology was advancing so fast. I couldn't keep up with it. The lighting wasn't good with the videography. They didn't like the angle, and with videography and DJ services, videography you're shooting that day, but all your work comes after the event. With
mhm.
DJ, all your work comes before the event, and then you're done after the event.
Yeah,
And I was like, I like that better,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So I just kept promoting the business more and more. People started hiring me, and like I said, when Drew was 10, he showed an interest. So what I used to do, I used to take him with me, and he
yeah,
would piggyback me, and we would go to the schools. And I would show him the mixing board, and I'd show him what to play, and he was very young, but then we started doing more and more events, and he started showing more and more of an interest. Well, what's happening is now the students that I'm doing school dances for are, of course, they're young, middle
hmm,
school, they're his age. So now he's starting to perfect his craft. So as he started getting older and older, I kept keeping him with me for like 10 years. So he gets through high school, he starts to do the high school gigs, and then of course he goes off to college. While he's in college, he starts to perfect. It was during COVID.
Mm.
So he starts college in 16, 17, and then he graduates in 2020, right in the midst of COVID,
yeah.
where
Wow.
where he gets no graduation, nothing, no,
Oh man.
it's all no pomp and circumstance. It was
Yeah.
here you go, congratulations, here's your bachelor's
Watched
degree.
it on
Uh,
the couch. That's
yeah.
what I did. I watched
But
it
while
on
he's
the
at
couch.
college,
Wow.
he starts to perfect. He gets a mixer and he starts to perfect and starts to practice.
Yeah.
So after he gets home from college, he started coming back and he was showing me some of the stuff that he was doing, and he knew the contacts that he was getting into. So by the time he was 19 or 20, he was ready. I The biggest problem I had with Drew was getting him on the microphone.
Okay.
And I taught him the inflection of voice when you do introductions and how you talk to people, and you're always professional and you show integrity and you always show gratitude, for what
Yeah.
you have,
Right.
because
Right.
you've
Right.
got to appreciate it every minute, as
Yeah.
hard as it is.
Oh yeah.
And I tried to show him that, and he kind of took that aspect over from me. and he started to perfect his craft. But at 19, he was ready to get on the microphone. He had his own setup. He was ready to go. My wife, Heather, went with him, and he went out and did a wedding on his own with her. And I had written the itinerary up and got it all set, and he did a phenomenal job. And from there, he was forced to get on that microphone.
Yeah.
And after I got him on the microphone, he started to come into himself, and he started feeling a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, people don't realize, when you see a DJ at a wedding, you don't realize how much work goes into it. So, case in point, we have established a routine in how we do things, and it's a pretty good system that we have. But when a client is interested in hiring us based on our website or whatever they see, the first thing they do is reach out. Well, we acquire a lead. So Drew takes it upon himself to contact that lead. And then if they hire us, I do all the contracting. I do all the paperwork. We send them a welcome letter. We send them a 5-page information sheet that outlines their whole day from the ceremony all the way to conclusion of the night.
Nice.
Because there's so many different intricacies.
Yeah.
You have the processional, the recessional, the intros, the first dance, the father-daughter dance, the cake cutting, the mother-son dance. There's just so much to a wedding.
Yeah.
And not only that, you have to be on point with how you use your mannerisms when you're doing a wedding, where you're not stressing anybody out.
Sure.
You incur all the stress, but you're very chill, you're relaxed, you're getting the names correctly when you do the introductions. Sometimes we get bridal parties that are, you might have 7 and 7
Yeah.
bridesmaids, 7 groomsmen, and they come up with these names off. So I have to literally write them phonetically
Yeah.
when I write my itinerary, so
Yeah,
he
yeah.
knows how to pronunciate them, because we do not mispronunciate any names at a wedding.
Nice.
So,
Good for you.
Um,
That's not a policy here. I do my best.
and I tell a lot of people, when I first started with him, I was more or less a drill sergeant with him. I spent 25 years in the military.
Yeah.
I retired in '05. I worked for Department of Correction, and I got to say, he had it very, very hard. I mean, he did very well, but I was very, very strict,
Yeah.
because I had high expectations
Sure.
of what I expected him to present when he went out there.
Mm.
And we try to meet those expectations every single job.
Ah,
So,
beautiful.
but anyway, that's what lead us is, that's how the whole business originated. And today it just flourished. But with him coming into the business, I was able to continue it,
Yeah.
because I'm almost 63 years old. And when he came on about, 10, 15 years ago, I couldn't go much farther, because I can't do proms. I can't do school dances. I'm too old.
Oh, okay.
So he came in and fit the bill
Yeah.
and started bringing it into today's genre
Right.
and meeting with the type of clientele that we need to stay with. So,
For sure.
you know,
For sure.
but-
All right, Tim. What's your side of that story?
I know I don't direct.
I say a lot about, the start of something is how you grab people. I felt like you just hammered into that a lot. So, just to piggyback on what he said, starting the business, he started it a different way. He didn't ever think about DJing, and then he got into, the DJing part of it more with Pat Ruffo. And then he went on his own. Luckily, when I was 10 years old, I found an interest and I hopped in it. He was still doing video back in the day. I remember going with him to Crystal Lake Golf Course to do a wedding. I must have been 11 years old, and we were doing Chad Bouchard's wedding, and he put me on video. He put me on the video for whatever reason why he did that. He did that. And I completely...
Like you were holding the camera?
I was doing the videography at
Okay.
around 10 years old. Chad and Sarah probably got one of the worst videos ever for videography after your wedding. But they knew kind of what was happening. We're long neighbors for many years. So, so I went in there and I did that. And then obviously when I was 10, 11, 12, I'm still in middle school. I ended up DJing my graduation dance in middle school at 13 years old.
Wow.
As a sophomore in high school, I DJ'd my homecoming. So I'm 15 years old. DJ'd a homecoming. Had no business doing a homecoming at 15 years old. I had all the seniors looking at a sophomore. Obviously, we had the name, we had the business. He came with me. Did I do a terrible job? Absolutely. But looking back on it now, I look back at the type of quality, the pressure that I felt as a youngin'. So, I'm 14, 15 years old. By the time I get my license when I'm 16, now I can finally start to go out, throw the speakers in my car, and I'm doing Putnam Science Academy basketball games. I'm DJing, killing the high school basketball games. I'm doing Jack and Jill's Sweet 16. I'm 16. I'm DJing Sweet 16s. I'm doing Jack and Jill's. I'm doing anniversary parties. By the time I turned 19, he accidentally double booked 2 weddings. He didn't have guys to send out. It was him. So
okay.
he accidentally double booked a wedding. So we're preparing for months for this wedding. I know that I'm doing it. I was at the Cranston Country Club, and I didn't feel confident to do it. And Heather had been part of the business a little bit more. So kind of as just a safety net, she came with me. Obviously, I'm 19, I'm driving, I'm doing whatever, but I'm not confident on the microphone. You don't understand the amount of pressure that you feel at a nice ballroom at 19 years old in front of 200 people.
Right.
And then you all of a sudden have to start bringing in a bridal party. That is not easy stuff right there. I mean, that really deters people. I see TikTok DJs and they don't have a microphone. They have no business with those microphones. So you got to start doing announcements. You got to start being the MC. It's a totally different ball game than you just throwing your headphones on and dialing in. You're a face. You are everything for that day. You're the guy. So
and you're monitor, or you are whatever energy.
Yeah,
you bring the energy, and you can bring it up or you can bring it down. And
right.
And
like he said,
Yeah.
it's so stressful, because I think the most stressful part, even though when I write the whole itinerary for the whole wedding day, I mean, I feel it worse now, I think, than I did years ago. You have 150, 130 to 200 people sitting in a room, and now cocktail hour has concluded. Now you're lining up the bridal party outside, getting them all ready. How you're going to introduce them. Now, sometimes bridal parties don't just have one song you have to play and everybody comes in. You have to announce. They have 3 or 4 or 5 songs. Oh, by the way, Tim, could you start this song at 49 seconds and end it here, and then start the next song? And you have to do this on a mixer, pronunciate the names properly, but the stressful part is when you walk back into that audience and now you're ready to begin, and you have 4 sheets of paper, all you're going to read. And now you take a breath, and now you welcome everybody to the venue, and now it begins. And I'll tell you, I've several times over the last couple of years, I had a blank. Because I just had stage fright.
Yeah.
Because everybody's looking at you, and you're the DJ, you're
doing
the MC.
everything live.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
yeah.
And I think the biggest attribute is the fact that you can't screw up. You got one shot at it,
Yeah.
and that's it. So,
And it's like when you're on the spot, and he laughs at me because I do these notes pretty diligently every week.
so
Because
yeah.
I say the same thing to intro the show, and I'm still reading off of it. You know what I mean? Because it just, I don't know. I can do my commercial by heart. Last week I actually did this one without having any notes, but he laughs at me, and I'll even correct spelling errors because my brain will stop. The editor in me is like, "Oh, I spelled that wrong," and now I'm like not talking.
Right.
Like,
This ain't right.
So I have to get everything kind of right, and I get it because you're on the spot.
Yeah.
and that's you cotton mouth, or you draw blank, or whatever.
That's
People
exactly
want
it.
to change
All the
things
time.
last minute. You give them
Oh, yeah.
too much power, they're changing things. They're changing the song. What are you going to say? No. I
Right.
mean, it's the bride and groom song. If they change it, I mean, you can either really say no, or you can make it happen. You got to make it happen.
And that
some way or
happened
form.
when I was up at Indian Ranch one wedding a couple years ago. The bridal party had a large bridal party. I was getting ready to introduce them.
Gosh, Saint,
As I'm lining them up before they actually come in, she goes, "By the way, I've got to change. This person's going to come in with this person. This person's going to come in with this person. You got to pronunciate it." And I'm crossing out stuff, and I'm writing things down. And now I'm really stressed. And I'm getting up there, and I welcome everybody to the Indian Ranch. And beautiful. Well, I didn't say. I said I welcome everybody to the Indian Ranch for a very special day. I'd like to welcome you all to Webster, Connecticut. And I'm like, yeah, because I was so
Yeah.
frustrated and so
Yeah.
flustered
Frazzled,
because that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
and that's what happens. And it's, believe me, it gets so stressful. So yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it gets pretty stressful, but right now for me at 27 years old, I mean, when I started at 19 to where I'm at 27 years old, I'm absolutely in my prime. He's gotten to watch me grow throughout this business, and
Yeah.
I've really tried to elevate this business as a social media, as a community presence,
Yeah.
with all the things that we do in such a small community. Your name is going to be known,
Oh, yeah.
and it's either known for good or it's known for bad. There's no, any exposure is good exposure. Not around here.
No.
Not around here.
No, I'll say for pretty much all of New England,
Yeah.
that's how. I mean, word of mouth is still the strongest
one
way to
turn.
work.
Right.
You know.
And we're at the point where he started the company and he really took it from the roots. And when I graduated college in 2020, COVID, it was either I go up or down. It was either I really take full advantage of it and I tried to. We were doing a handful of jobs, I should say. I mean, with his schedule was a little crazy, and he couldn't commit to certain Saturdays or whatever he's doing those days, but he's using vacation time. If I were to use vacation time for every single weekend that I'm
Yeah,
DJing,
right.
I'd be out of a job. I'd
Yeah,
be off
yeah.
the books.
Yeah.
So luckily, I'm fortunate enough, and he's got a year left of where he's at. But I have another 21 years of where I'm at, and I'm in the perfect career to be able to have this
Yeah,
local business
it's not a
that,
night
that is
job.
on the weekends. I'm
Yeah.
constantly out every single weekend. I'm out about 45 weekends out of the year, and my social life is dwindled down, but I mean, right now, my 20s is really when you're just putting your head down and moving. And I feel like that's what we're doing. We've gotten to the point where we've gotten a pretty good team of guys that'll come out and DJ some jobs for us, some school events. We have a third wedding DJ. That way, it takes a little bit of load off of us, and we're able to book more. The volume's there, and it's tough not to bring in those guys to help out a little bit. And saying no, I don't want to say no to anybody. They know what they're getting, but they know if it's not going to be me or him off the rip. You got to be straightforward with your couples. You got to really just let them know who's going to be out there, what's going on that day. So we have a couple guys that'll go out, represent Daley's DJ service, and they do a good job. We trust them.
And we really didn't.
He was against it.
I
for a
never
long time.
wanted to expand because I was so worried about the quality of service that people were going to receive, and the guys that help us out, I mean, are phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I just told Drew, I said, Drew, I'm worried about this because I put a lot of work into establishing this business, and one thing is wrong, and our name is on that, but it's been working out fine. But to you get to a point when the business starts to grow as big as it does, that you need to start looking for new people, and Drew started doing that. So we started offering videography services. And
wow.
he purchased purchased up lighting. He purchased a photo booth. A lot of the things that I never even thought to incorporate into the business,
Yeah.
he took it to the next level.
Yeah.
And he modernized it, a lot of it. And our equipment now, based on from when I first started back in 1989, like the equipment you have is top notch.
Yeah.
And and like Drew has always said, and believe it or not, I taught Drew when he was young, but he's become my teacher in a lot of ways. He's taught me so much about mixing and BPMs and the type of genre of music that we need to play for certain type of elements I never thought of. So he's become my teacher, but we have the quality of equipment that we've purchased. We've invested a lot of money in top quality equipment.
Nice.
And that's what we use.
Yeah.
And when we go out there, there's no static. The
Yeah.
microphones don't drop. I mean,
Right.
everything sounds. We use top of the line. We use Bose equipment. Everything sounds impeccable.
Nice.
And we have people that come up to us and say, "Wow, you're not playing that loud, and your speakers sound great." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "We use top of the line equipment,
Yeah.
and it was an investment, but it makes all the
Sure.
difference in the world."
Right. Yeah, that gives you that extra quality because you can be as great on the mic as you want, but if it's not getting out there
Yeah, no.
correctly or with quality,
Or if
then,
you're mumbling on the microphone, you got to be able to enunciate. You got to be able to talk slow.
yeah,
People need to understand you when you're welcoming somebody in, and I can say I've done it when I was younger, and sometimes I feel like he does it now, which is a correctable thing. But when you, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, and people can't understand, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this beautiful venue, celebrating a special day with a
Right.
special couple. Not talking too fast to get it done with, talking so your message is received from your guests. People can hear you. You're enunciating, which I learned from him at a young age, and that's why I was scared to get on the mic, because I didn't have that voice yet. I didn't have that persona. But letting people understand you, letting your wedding guests know where the night's going. How's the energy from the DJ, the guy who's controlling the vibes? Before I line up that bridal party, I'm out there on the dance floor greeting everybody before the actual introduction. I'm out there greeting everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this beautiful venue. In just a few minutes, I'm going to go out. I'm going to line up this bridal party. I need you guys to gear up and get ready to make a lot of noise here at Evergreen Farm, celebrating a special day. I can't wait to party with you guys tonight. I go by the name of Drew Daley with Daley's DJ Service. We're going to do a few formalities. We're going to eat some dinner, and then we're going to get this party started. I can't wait to be here with you guys. And you build that rapport.
That's awesome.
With
That
your
energy,
guests.
the rapport.
Build that energy. You let them know where the night's going. And, some people will give a little clap. They're drinking. And you say, just in a few minutes, we're going to bring in this bridal party. I need you guys to get ready. You let them know where the night's going.
Right.
As dinner's finishing up and we're getting ready to do the cake cutting. Unpopular opinion, I think cake cuttings should just be unannounced. I think the bride and groom should sneak away with the photographers and just do it. I think it kills the vibe a little bit, especially if you already started the dance floor and you kind of need to drop it. As soon as dinner's done, I feel like you should be able to go right into opening that dance floor.
Yeah.
My thing and what we did for a long time was always do the parent dances after dinner, the cake cutting after dinner, the anniversary dance, garter or bouquet toss. Hate the garter and bouquet. I think the garter and bouquet needs to be abolished.
Yeah, not many people
from
do
weddings.
anymore.
Okay,
Okay.
it's 2025. People are uncomfortable. People are sensitive, and you understand that. People are young. People are old. Uncle Eddie, 64, is catching the garter. Your niece, 14-year-old Sarah, is catching the bouquet. All right, where are you going with this, DJ?
Right.
What are you going to do? And this is something that I learned from him is, when you're doing it and it's two strangers that are single, and you bring the single guys on the dance floor, you bring the single girls on the dance floor, and they're two people that are single and they're in their 30s or whatever, you're able to go through with that formality, but not when it's Uncle Eddie and little Sarah. You got to be able to come up on the fly, and people are looking at you. So obviously when you do the leg, when it's a 14-year-old girl, you're doing the arm. You're not doing anything crazy. That's why I feel like that just needs to be out. We need to just be done with the garter and bouquet. Throw the bouquet. That's fine. Enough with the garter. But yeah, there's a ton of unpopular opinions that I could hit you with about weddings. But
an anecdote. I was at a wedding where there was one single woman. When they said all the single ladies come up, there's one. But the bride really wanted to throw the bouquet. That was like a tradition. And so she caught it. And she wasn't really single. She was a widow.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it was like super
So
awkward.
what I recommend usually to a lot of brides, and when I meet with them, because like I said, Drew usually does the initial contact, and I basically meet with them and go over all the info sheets. But I make recommendations and suggestions to them. And I asked them, it's one of the questions I asked, how many single ladies are at, not because I'm asking for myself, I want to know.
Right.
And they're like, I'm really not going
Is
to
it
have
a
a lot.
crowd? Yeah.
So
Is it something we
so
should
if
do?
you want to do that formality, then what we can do is, listen, let's invite all the ladies to the dance floor, and then we'll go from there. And that meant, so there's all different types of ways to do it. But and even with the DJ service, and I wanted to add that a few years ago, my wife Heather had come up with an idea during COVID. I had mentioned to her that we were doing a lot of weddings where they were bringing in food trucks and alcohol trucks and trailers and stuff, and I saw them one time, and I had brought it up to her, and we were sitting out one night during the summertime, and she had brought it up to me. She goes, "Hey, how about if we actually consider purchasing or having a specific trailer designed to our specs of a bartending trailer?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's a great idea." And so a few years ago, I reached out to a couple trailer companies and to get some prices and get some feedback on how we'd go about doing it. And I ended up getting in contact. They couldn't really meet what I was looking for, so I actually contacted somebody down in Georgia, and I had a trailer specifically designed to my specifications or our specifications of what we wanted. Not knowing, not ever doing this before, I wasn't really sure, but I had it all set up. So we had the sinks, we had the keg system put in there. I had Paul Fournette come over and did all the construction inside of it,
Oh,
and it
wow.
was fully operational. And so now we incorporated not only Daley's DJ service, but we incorporated Daley's pours. And that was born, and you saw it. It was
Yep.
our ribbon
Oh,
cutting.
I've been there a couple
Yeah.
of times frequenting drinks.
And I'll tell you, we have a phenomenal staff that works the pours. Heather is the owner, but we have Blake Keene, who has a lot of bartending experience. She's probably one of the best bartenders that she's so creative, and she does such a great job with managing the pours. We had bestowed her the position of bartending manager. So she operates the managing portion of it, and she hires the girls. And we have Darcy Green,
Yep. Darcy,
who works
great.
for
Shout out to
Amy
Darcy.
Brunette.
Yep.
We took Darcy on. We asked Darcy if she would be interested, and now Darcy is our manager too. She's our
nice.
finance manager. She handles all the finances. She does all the ordering.
Okay.
And we have Kelly Alves that works for us. We just have a great staff.
Yeah.
Sydney Gary, and
Jamie Gillette.
they come in. They're professional. We got them their own attire, so they all dress professionally.
Yeah.
But they come in. They've got a great attitude. They're highly qualified, and people love them at the events.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was at one. I was at the. Oh boy, the Little Dipper Farm. I didn't want to call the old name, but
a
the
couple
little.
weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago at somebody's surprise birthday party.
Okay.
And there's the Daily trailer right there, and I know Darcy, so
Okay.
and you guys had signature drinks.
Yep.
Signature margarita.
Yeah.
It was like seasonal, like a pumpkin or something. I forget what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was great. I mean, everybody just kind of stepped outside the barn, ordered their drink. It was
That's
still one of
awesome.
those really nice fall
Yeah.
evenings, those still warm. and,
Yeah. Yeah.
it was great because it gave us an excuse to go outside, get fresh air, look at it's so beautiful up there on Bush
Oh
Hill.
my God! Yeah, I
Yeah.
got to be honest with you. I had never been up to the it was the Lion and the Lamb, right?
It was
Golden
Golden
Lamb.
Lamb.
The Golden
Yep,
Lamb.
yep.
So, and I know a lot of actresses and actors have been up there. A lot of high-profile people have been up there. I had never been up there, and I hate to say it because I've always wanted to go up there. I just never went up there.
Yeah.
But we were up there to deliver the trailer, and the landscaping alone and just looking off that hill is so picturesque,
Yeah.
and it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And we got a chance to meet the venue people that own it.
Yep.
And we got a chance to converse with them, and of course we told them about the DJ service and everything, and they were very interested in possibly having us up there again. But
Nice.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
And they've
it-
done so much work to that
Oh, my
barn.
God.
It's just beautiful inside.
Yeah.
And I also got to talk to her as well when I was walking around. Like my son, we were there. He wasn't having to party that much. So we were
Okay.
walking around looking at
Yeah.
the cows and
Venus.
stuff. And yeah, Venus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
I will
and,
not. I know. I'm not going to remember. I'm not
Yeah.
going to forget that name. So,
So-
yeah, they were so nice. though.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yep.
were great, and I know the couple of families that live around there too, up there.
Okay.
So like she knows them, and we were conversing back and forth about it. But hopefully we get her on here. She was
Yeah.
she was kind of like, "What do you do?" and, like and yeah. So we talked, and yeah, they were just super accommodating for everything.
That's awesome.
And you seeing you guys there, and then of course. At your ribbon cutting a few years ago at Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice.
That was a ton of fun.
Yep.
I got one of the little code words to order drink. You guys
Oh,
are
okay.
great
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I think we used.
You guys are doing
yeah.
coffees.
It was.
Exactly.
It was like
It was free hot chocolate to
It was
Yeah,
hot
that's
chocolate
right.
with love.
yeah.
Yeah, Dick Loomis. Dick Loomis
Yes.
had that down pat, and it was funny when he was up
Yeah.
there that day. So yeah, but yeah, everybody had a good time with that. And we're going to be back there again in February.
Nice.
Heather and I will be on a cruise, but our team will be there running it, so we won't be freezing this year. But it's such a great event.
Yeah.
Jen
Yeah.
Bertowski runs that
Yep.
event,
Yep.
and
She does
she
such a
is
great
top
job.
notch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But the bartending services are not only just a trailer. We also do on-site bartending. So
Okay.
we have the
Yeah.
license. We're fully insured.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing the Mohegan a women's event in March 7th and 8th at the casino.
Yeah.
And we're going to have the trailer there and the DJ booth and the uplighting and the everything.
huge
The
event.
whole team's going to be there.
Nice.
So yeah.
It's a huge
Nice.
event for us.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yep. So
So one thing I wanted to ask you, because I saw you at an event and you had like the turntables.
Yep.
And what is that? Is that like scribble the music? Like how does that? I'm sorry. How does that work?
No, it's
What
all
does that
good.
do?
No, that's exactly what it does. I mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
have full capabilities to run the old school type vibe, and it shows people like the old school type vibe. I have, platters that are have a motor in it. So when I hit play, they're moving, and I'm able to be active with the music. I'm able to hit effects that you wouldn't be able to hit and do transitions the best way possible. But yeah, I keep that same old school early 2000s, but it's a sleek look.
Yeah.
You got both controllers on each side, and it's all compact in a podium setup, so you can't see any cords, any wires.
Oh,
You
nice.
can't see my laptop charging cord. You just see a laptop on a stand plugged in symmetrical to the center of my podium setup with turntables, and everything looks sleek, and the cords all come down, and then they're go straight out to the speakers in one crisp line that I
Yeah.
have the cables. So everything's got to be sleek. I've always yelled at him for a long time, just like he yelled at me when I was younger, and that's why I give it back to him, because I think his cords are crazy. His cords look insane, and
Yeah.
so he bought a new setup that looks really sleek and clean and looks the part. But when I was younger, it would be like I would take a cord out and I would just plug in this side, plug in that side, and I got like the middle is just it's just a wreck, and I would throw it right back in. And it was all about how you put it back. You got to put things back the right way. And back then, when we were doing 10 jobs a year and I'd have one job a month, it didn't really matter at the time. I just wanted to go home, so I'd throw stuff together. Now when I'm doing every single weekend, I'm sitting there rolling these cords up. They're placed the right way. I open it up the next weekend, and it's right there, and it's
Nice.
it's the way it needs to be. You got to be
Right.
organized, and I'm OCD because of this guy. The military absolutely hammered this guy to be, real OCD, and I'm grateful for it. I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah.
I like a clean house. And
Yeah, when you put stuff
everything.
away, there's less chance of failure. It doesn't
Oh,
have
exactly.
much wear
and
and
there's
tear.
nothing worse is when you get to an event and you start unloading stuff to set up, and you're like, okay, where's that XLR?
Yeah, I don't know if stuff's.
I
not
don't know
gonna
where
work.
that cord went, because I'm the same way. I have my certain bags, everything. You got people at the end of the wedding too. They always want to help you. God love them, because
Yeah.
they really mean well and they want to help you. And I'm like, listen, I have to do this alone because I have to make sure everything goes back in the same place, because I don't know where I'm going to find it.
You
Right,
can help me
right.
carry
You know?
equipment out to my car.
Yeah.
That's fine, but I gotta
Bag
do
it
the
up.
cords.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Nice.
But-
Were you starting to itch by looking at our cords under the?
no,
No, your stuff is very neat.
They
I've
don't.
been judging this whole time.
Oh, we could fit
The,
it.
underneath needs a little cleaning.
No, he's got the
so
stream pulled up. I'm watching the stream too. So
There's been so many like switches that we've had to do. This has all been trial and error. We really didn't know what we were doing when we were setting up the studio, so like we kind of keep everything versatile, so you can just plug and play.
it's great.
Like I have Velcro to hold the wires up so that we can
Nice.
take them down and put them somewhere else if we need to, if we're moving stuff around.
It's
So-
like technology, and and I keep leading back to. I remember I used to have to carry like 6 4-foot coffins of CDs when I used to have to do
Oh,
jobs
that's
back in
right,
the 80s and
yeah.
90s.
Yeah.
And I had a big trailer, and I'd have to lug all these CDs out. And the difference between today and back then, I would open up all these coffins, and I'd pull all I knew what type of songs I was going to play, and I'd pull the CDs out so I could easily find them. Well, when everything turned technical, and we were using CDs, so also when people would dance on a dance floor, if they jumped too much, well, the CD would skip.
Oh yeah.
And then you're running to, okay, track 1, track 2, and then you got to run your mixer. And now today's technology, it's a lot more advanced, sometimes it's a little more difficult. You got to kind of know what you're doing because there's so many buttons.
Yeah.
And he's taught me a lot with that. But just the loading aspect and lifting equipment, we don't have such that physical exertion anymore of lifting all that equipment anymore. But then you do get a lot of people, and Gary O had mentioned this.
Shout out to Gary O. We love Gary O.
Love Gary O. Him and Karen, we love them, and
Yeah.
they support us so much. So we always put them up on a pedestal anytime we get a chance. We love them. But Gary, Gary had brought it up. He goes, anybody can go out and, spend a couple $1,000s on a nice speaker, and it doesn't mean you know how to DJ a wedding or DJ an
for
event.
sure. Yeah.
And it takes a lot of expertise. And I have the guys at work. They're like, what are you doing at a wedding? What do? You just show up and play music. What's the big deal? I'm like, you don't understand.
Yeah. It's definitely an art form to it for sure.
And you know what? I almost don't even realize what I do anymore. And I'm not boasting my ego, but I think I've done it for so long that I think I do things that people don't really know how to do because I've done it for my whole life.
Yeah, any professional that's good at what they do, they make it look easy.
They make it look easy.
That's what, and that's kind of like the downfall. Like, you charge how much? That looks so easy, and it's like,
well, that's it. When you start charging what you're worth, and we weren't, we charge very competitive prices. We've checked out a lot of DJs, and we've been doing it for a long time, and we've been continuously providing what they've been coming back with, a 5-star DJ service.
Nice.
And we have them, as many people as we ask for them to write reviews on what you thought. We don't get them all back, but the ones that we get, he'll get them, and he'll say, "Hey, Dad, we got another 5-star review. And it's a 5-star, 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 5-star. There's nothing. We don't want anything less than that."
Right.
So, so it's a lot of work for that. It's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
But
so, who or how do you decide what music to buy? You're purchasing it, I assume, right? You purchase.
We'll go with that.
So,
What do you think I'm gonna say?
well, it's like. Because you used to have
we
to
do.
buy CDs. Now you don't have to buy the whole CD, right? You just buy the individual
right.
song.
And what I did was all the CDs, all the coffins I had, those were my CDs. I purchased them. I downloaded those into. Of course, he has a copy of my set too. But we also, we have monthly subscriptions to Apple Music. We have monthly subscriptions for Spotify.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily like to use that. But when we have a request that's requested that we don't have, of course, that's the accessibility we have to go to get that song.
Yeah.
So we have that, but we have multiple accounts that we pay for that music. So all the artists and everybody that wrote that music, and there are some artists that you can't get on Spotify. Garth Brooks being a big definition. You can't get him on Spotify, but I had a big library of him, and I still have him requested. But like I said, we do pay our monthly subscriptions to all these music things.
It's a lot. Even like
you have to.
marketing a house, you got to pay for all those subscriptions. A lot of people don't realize that marketing is paid for.
You do
when you're on 100-something sites.
And you'll actually have people show up sometimes, like at a gym or whatever, and you're playing that music. You're supposed to have a license to play that music.
I was going to ask about how that worked, like, and how soon can you play a new song? Is it like right away? Is there no real limit? You can just play it?
Nobody's ever called the cops on us.
No.
I don't even know how that would work, to be honest. I think it's more when you're posting videos of the music being played, but that's when Facebook will cancel you or take the video
they have the algorithm watching.
But I don't understand what really
constitutes
what sparks them. I don't know what triggers them.
We looked into it a little bit.
It's like 11 seconds of a song.
Yeah, there's certain platforms have their certain whatever their algorithm looks for, and if you're mimicking,
well, on certain platforms you can get away with it more than you can on.
Yeah.
So I mean, music. I paid for this thing. It was $80 one time, and now I can get every single song on Spotify or whatever, and I can hard download it so I can use it.
But we pay, we're paying for the service.
Yeah, of course.
We're not pirating anything, and there's a service out there, and they want to hear a certain song, so we're paying for the subscription.
Plus, you get paid on your service, not like you're redistributing the music.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
And that's a huge part of our business. We're we provide a service. We don't sell stuff. We don't sell stuff where people can purchase items. So
Right.
that goes a lot in with our type of business that we actually run. It helps a little bit, and it doesn't have to be so on point, and you're getting an exact subscription of how many T-shirts somebody bought off of you. It's just it's our own numbers that we use. So,
and I'll be honest with you today. There's no way in heck I could ever purchase the amount of music that's out there. They were back in the 80s and 90s. They were limited to how much. I mean, they had a lot of music, but there was only today. There's millions and millions and millions of songs.
There was a lot of gates to get on a CD. A lot of gates or gatekeepers.
Exactly.
That kept a lot of artists from getting big or getting getting published or whatever.
Yeah, you got.
And now anybody can go on YouTube and become a sensation.
Yeah.
So
even like you said, even on Spotify, you got these new artists that are local and they're on Spotify.
Yeah.
So, and you don't even know who they are unless they bring them up to you.
Yeah, we've had a few on here.
Okay.
Shout out
And
to Whiskey Boulevard.
Yeah.
They're on Spotify.
And Hopeville General
Store.
Hopeville General Store.
Okay.
So.
There's a one of the girls that's playing in a band. She played with. She's doing a country song right now down in Nashville. She has something going on with them, and she's local. Heather Amino.
Oh, okay.
So, and she plays with. She used to be with Merge Right, but now she's with another band now, and I'm sorry I can't remember. It's my age, but I know she's doing some type of. She's doing a new something new with Nashville. She's going on a record. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it's just an incredible industry. With you have the art of the music, and then you have the the DJ art of it all as well, and you bringing it together and making it.
Yep.
And it also helps the artist because I'm sure people hear new songs at weddings or events or whatever. Oh, what's that?
They want to. They come up and ask you, "Who is this?
Yeah,
who sings this song?"
See, my thing is like a good DJ doesn't play the songs that people want to hear. They play the songs that you didn't know you wanted to hear. Right?
Okay.
You're hearing music that you didn't even think of, like, oh, I haven't heard this song in so long. Rather than all the requests that they give you, what his set is. A good DJ is playing what they didn't know they wanted to hear.
Yeah.
So.
And we'll ask them before their wedding. Listen, you don't need to write our whole 45 playlist for the night, but listen, what do you guys like?
Right.
And I always tell them prior to their wedding, if you haven't sent out your invitations yet, put song and artist. So when your guests send back something, as long as it's appropriate for the event,
and they want it,
and they want it. And that's what we do, and it kind of keeps us in their realm of the type of music they want. Some weddings will come back. I'm like, oh, this is exactly what we play. And then I've had other brides and grooms come back and go, yeah, listen, we have some do not plays. No 70s, no 80s, no 90s, a little bit of 2K, and no cha-cha slide. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you're really limiting us to what we could do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was at a birthday party that was DJ'd, and for the last hour, the DJ was just playing the '90s hits of when we were all. It was somebody's 30th, years ago, and he started playing like all the stuff we would have listened to in high school, and that was just so cool to just kind of reminisce, and dance to the old songs.
Yeah,
that's why I love playing early 2000s. When they have play anything early 2000s to 2010s is like the best. You know what I'm saying? Like you're getting that old stuff that I was young, but now that I'm in my 20s, I appreciate that music. And now when I get into like the 2010s, you're playing Kesha and Usher and Club Can't Handle Me Right Now and Flow Rider. That type of stuff is like the party's happening. And you're typically, if that's what you're using as fuel, you have a younger crowd, a more ambitious crowd, people who are most likely more intoxicated, so it does not matter what
alcohol
the sound
definitely helps.
Yeah.
But I've also taught him too, we have to be, you have to be in tune with not alienating people my age, because we do like Sinatra, Earth, Wind and Fire, and a lot of dancing stuff that it's familiar music to us in order for us to dance.
Yeah.
When they start playing some of the newer music and it's too much hip hop or
techno,
people will leave. And so you have to be really careful, and we've always done it, and I've taught him. He has his own pretty much genre how he does everything, but I've started off with cocktail music, Sinatra and Etta James and Como, and we start building up to Earth, Wind and Fire and all those great songs. But what we look for is we constantly keep an eye on the crowd especially during cocktail hour or dinner. And I watch them, and they're either tapping on the table or they're singing to the song, or I see them lip sync to their friend and go, "Oh my God, I love this song."
Yeah.
And I kind of know where it's going to go that night. And when we watch the crowd in there, then they just, like I said, alcohol does help.
Yeah.
And the worst part is when we get. By the way, Tim, just to let you know, it's a dry wedding. I'm like, no, I really got to
gotta be really good here. I don't know. There's a lot of things like that, and one thing that I've been utilizing a little bit more is knowing the filler song. And now, what a filler song is you get done with the cake cutting, and maybe the bride and groom made a little bit of a mess or whatever, but you're moving formality to formality. So you're moving cake cutting to father-daughter dance typically. But if we do the father-daughter dance after the first dance, then you're going cake cutting straight to the bouquet toss or right into the dance floor. But a lot of times you need that 4 minutes in between one formality to the next. So what he told me he taught me when I was younger was, at the end of dinner, you want to get them going, moving in their feet. So you hit Knock 3 times or Sweet Caroline or those types of things. Well, I've been really utilizing Sweet Caroline a little bit more these past 2 weddings, and I was totally against playing that song. I really hated playing that song, unless I really got the right Boston crowd. But these last 2 weddings I did, I was at the Society Room in Hartford, huge ballroom, 200 people, and I just wanted to feel the energy before that we got into dancing. So there was one way to do it, and it was in between the cake cutting and the father-daughter dance. It was in between the cake cutting and the bouquet toss. It was the last formality that we were going to do. I was like, all right, folks, before we get into the bouquet toss, I just want to feel your energy a little bit. I want to feel where we are in the night. I hope you guys are ready to party, and I'm going to play this one song, and I just want to feel where we're at. So they're kind of looking at me, and I go right into Sweet Caroline. And it's building a little bit.
Yeah.
And what he taught me when I was younger was, throw in there, how many Red Sox fans do we have in here, right? You get a couple.
Yeah.
All right, how about Yankee fans? And that's where they kind of go up. I'm not a Yankees fan, by the way. I'm a Red Sox fan. We're Red Sox fans over here. All right. But you kind of get them going a little bit. You feel them out. All right. When this song hits the chorus, I need you guys to sing it real nice and loud. So it's building up, building up, building up. And they're tapping their friends, and they're sweet. And they go into it. And I drop the lyrics. Bah, 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 and there's like the room is shaking at this point, right? You're just feeling the energy, and they're appreciating it. Normally hit 1 verse, maybe I'll do 2 if I felt like it was a little weak, but it's a filler song. It's a song simply basically get me to the next formality so I can go in with an Unchained Melody or Celebration, Cool in the Gang. That's how I'm going to start my night off. But it's a huge one that I've been utilizing, and it's been really fun. Seeing the crowd interact, loud. They're running to the dance floor before they even need to do anything. Uncle Joe is like, this is his song, and he's ready. So, I don't know. Filler songs have been really good, and that's got to be my number one. Not to say, my cheat codes or my hacks. We built and we've trained really hard, and we've learned. And we don't give our secrets out like this. I have some guys that'll go out, and I don't tell them what I do every time, because there'd be nothing special about me. There'd be nothing special about what he does. He does things a certain way that I never would have thought to do, and I do the same. I've learned a lot from him. He learned some things from me, and we're grateful to be at that part. But it's making weddings fun for us and not so monotonous and the same thing every weekend. I can't listen to certain songs on my own. If I'm in a car and somebody plays "Yeah" by Usher, I'm like, next. Somebody plays "Low" by next. I don't care if you think this is the song. I'm not listening to it on my day off. So
I
get that.
As many weddings as we do, sometimes he'll go out and do 3 weddings a weekend.
Wow.
3.
Wow.
So when you're doing a wedding either Thursday night or Friday or Saturday or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you got to go in there 100%. You can't be at only 80% on a Sunday wedding. You got to give 100% of yourself. So that's why you got to stay fresh.
Yeah.
And when you're doing so many weddings, you gotta stay fresh with everything. Yeah. And you got to be at 100%.
There are no bad days. Okay, you're DJing somebody's wedding. You're emceeing somebody's wedding. You don't have a bad day. You got baggage at home. You got girl problems. You got kid problems, you got family problems, your oil tank is dried out. I don't care. You're going there and you walk through those white lines on a football field, baseball field, like I tell the guys because I coach. You leave that stuff at home. This is their once in a lifetime day, and you don't have any problems. You are the happiest guy in the world. I don't care if it's Thursday and you got a Friday wedding. The team that you're with that night is who you're rolling with, and you're giving them the best day ever. The next day, you'll worry about the next day. You get home at 11 o'clock, you worry about your problems when you get there. In between those white lines, you got nothing wrong. You're the happiest guy in the world. And that's something that you got to really buy into.
You got to channel it some days.
Channel it. And I'm a pretty upbeat guy. I'm a happy guy. I'm very grateful for everything that I have going on in my life and my family and my friends and what is good. But the bad is there. Okay, but if I showed up every day with a sulk on my face, woe is me, then nobody cares, dude. Nobody cares. Everybody has their own problems, all right? You just got to fake it till you make it sometimes, and you just got to be you. So
even if you're going over to Block Island during a hurricane,
exactly.
you have to be at 100%.
Yeah, let's tell that story.
Oh, gosh, what a time. I don't know. A lot of people know this. Even inmates at work, they saw me on TV. They're like, "Yo, is that you?" Anyway.
Well, let me start it. So we're at Providence Convention Center, and this couple comes up.
Newport brought Electrical.
Newport, right? So they come up, and they're like, "Yeah, would you guys go out to Block Island?" I'm like, "Oh, heck yeah, I'll go out to Block Island. I've always wanted to do a wedding at Block Island." I said, "Drew, they want to book us to do a wedding at Block Island," and he goes, "No, I'll do that one." And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm looking at the pictures of Block Island out on an island where it's sunny in a tent and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden, this couple ends up booking us for September
23rd.
September 23rd for Block Island.
Okay.
So we're all excited. So now Drew has got it. So I'll let you take it from
Yeah, I don't know. So she called me. I gave her the price. We agreed. And I'm very excited for it. They booked the DJ in the photo booth. So it was mandatory. I had Sage, my wife, go out there. At the time, she's my fiance. And I'm like, listen, we're going out to Block Island. It's a Saturday wedding. We're going to get up there Saturday morning. We're going to stay the night. They're putting us in a room, and then we'll go home Sunday morning. Well, September's hurricane season over there in the waters, all right? So they're like, hey, waters are kind of choppy. It's Thursday. We want to get you over on Friday. So I'm like, yeah, we'll come over early. So I work. I do my shift, and I catch a 7 o'clock ferry in Narragansett with Sage. And we get there, and everything's good. We get across the water. It's a little rocky. I'm in there on my laptop downloading music. She's hanging over the side. She's wicked sick. She can't do it. So she's hanging over the side. I'm in there, headphones on, laptop, whatever. I don't no attention to it. Get over. We meet at Ballard's. The whole wedding party and the guests are already over there for the Saturday wedding. So I go there. I start meshing with some of the people, having some drinks with the bridal party and the bride and groom. And then it's around 8:30, 9 o'clock at this point. And the mother of the bride, Cheryl, she comes up to me. She's like, "Hey, you heard about tomorrow, right?" I was like, "No, I haven't heard anything." Well, we moved the wedding. It was supposed to start at 4. We moved it up to 12. The wind is supposed to be crazy. So I'm like, all right, well, good thing I'm over here now. So we go back to the place, and, we wake up 7 o'clock in the morning the next day, and I'm up, ready to go. And I get a text, hey, we're moving the wedding up to 11:30. All ferries are canceled Saturday morning. So I wouldn't have even been able to get over there Saturday morning.
Wow.
Luckily, I got over there the night before. So I got the truck, DJ, photo booth, all my stuff all packed in there. We get up there. I'm staying at where the wedding venue is. So it's around 8 o'clock at this point, and I start bringing stuff out. I open up that door to that bed and breakfast, and the door nearly rips off. But we're having a wedding. We're doing a wedding. So it took me about 2.5 hours to get set up. I'm starting setting up at 8 a.m. By the time I get done, it's around 10:45, 11, with water coming in through the tent, trying to figure out exactly where I need to be. I get the photo booth set up. I get the DJing set up. Bride and groom are trying to figure out where we're doing the ceremony. The tent is blowing up like a balloon.
Because it's already raining.
Yeah,
hard.
it's raining.
Wow.
There's one entrance, so the wind's coming in. The sides are pumping out. So the bride and groom do their ceremony in the tent. We get to it in the middle of their first dance after their intros, and they're doing pictures in the rain. In the middle of their first dance, water spews all over my controller, stops their first dance.
Oh, man.
Luckily, I had a backup, so I hit Bluetooth off my phone real quick to the speaker, continued their first dance, got it cleaned up. Everybody knew what happened. I had people standing behind me. My whole controller's soaking wet, so I wiped it off. Luckily, that thing's invincible.
Nice.
Got it cleaned up. We did everything. Did the wedding. The wedding had to be done at 6. So no vendors got over there on Saturday. The photographer didn't get over. Videographer didn't get over. Florals, food, nothing. So there's no fairies. I'm the only vendor that got over. Sage and I are over there, and some lady had her camera. We're doing the thing. They run out of food for dinner. This was like $100,000 wedding.
Wow.
They ran out of food, so they're giving guests chicken tenders and fries. The wedding had to be done at 6 o'clock. The owners were not being very kind to the bride and groom. The bride and groom had a ton of anxiety over this whole entire day. So we finish up, and the wedding was just an absolute shit show. All right, I'm just gonna say it was a shit show.
Yeah.
So whatever. 6 o'clock, we're done. Everybody goes over to Yellow Kittens, and we're all there after, and we're having a good time. We're reminiscing on this just absurd wedding. It was soaking wet, but it was a great party. So whatever. Next day we wake up, ferry's canceled. Sunday morning, whatever. All right, we'll get over there Monday morning. I gotta miss a day of work. Monday morning, wake up, ferry's canceled. I'm like, all right, well, I'm calling my chief. Hey, just letting you know I've been over here on Block Island since Friday. We're stuck. Tuesday morning, wake up, ferry's canceled. There's nobody over. There's nobody off besides people taking the biplane across to Narragansett. So we were paying good money for that. I'm not. We're staying.
So in the meantime, while he's going through this, Dave Ward calls me. I don't know if you know Dave. He worked for WINY.
Okay. Yeah.
At one
Sound
time.
familiar.
And
yeah.
Dave works for Channel 3 or Channel 8. And Dave calls me at the house. He goes, Tim, hey, I heard Drew's over on Block Island. He's stuck over there. I said, yeah. I said, he's been over there for days. They're running out of food. And he goes, would you mind if we contacted him? We'd like to put him on the air. And I'm like, no, absolutely. So he goes,
no food's coming over. The restaurants are shutting down. They're running out of food, running out of drinks, running out of everything.
Wow.
It's a frenzy over there. There's no places open. Some of the food kind of was terrible over there. So, we lived at the Poor People's Pub. Shout out Poor People's Pub. What a great spot. And we're over there. It was nice. Sunday, nothing to do. It was a forced day off for me. So I'm watching football in the Poor People's Pub. We're not going anywhere. It's a hurricane outside, so we're in this Poor People's Pub. Next day, Monday Night Football. At least I got Monday Night Football to look forward to. I'm a huge football guy, so we're Monday Night Football. Then it's like Tuesday. I got nothing. This is the worst day ever. I'm doing the interview on Tuesday, and we got kicked out of our bed and breakfast. So the mother of the bride puts us in a spot. He helped out. He put us in a spot too, but people are charging good money for these places to stay.
I'm surprised they had to kick you out of the first place. Was there anybody even coming to fill it?
Nope. No, they got some bad reviews. Not from us.
I called the hotel and I told them, I said the bride's mother was going to pay for extra nights. And I said, no. You already paid for 2 nights for him. I said, we'll take care of it. So I called the hotel and I said, listen, put him up for the rest of the couple nights. It was a very expensive venture that weekend.
Yeah,
it really was. So
I mean, luckily we got back and we went straight to Twin River and won a couple bucks off of a slot machine. So we ended up paying for some stuff. But it's like you go over, you're spending everything you just paid. You just got paid to do this wedding.
Yeah.
To be stuck here for 5 days. I get back to work on Wednesday, or it might have been Thursday. I get back to work on Thursday. I got inmates saying, "Oh, dude, I saw your interview on the news." They're watching whatever on their tablets laid up. But
anyway, you never know what you're going to run
It was
into,
one of the
so
craziest
quite
wedding
experiences
I've ever had in my entire life. I was extremely grateful. I did, I'd say, an incredible job as far as making it happen on one of the worst weekends ever. I mean, obviously in September, but I made it happen, made everything happen. Got some great reviews, and I'm DJing her brother's wedding coming up here soon. So it was a great time, and you fell in love with the family. The family fell in love with us. We're the only ones on that island. You felt like
oh, wow.
They didn't have a choice.
You felt like you're castaway. You're there, and you're running into the same people. Hey, you're the DJ from that? Yeah, I have the same clothes on that I wore yesterday. I brought 2 shirts and a pair of sweatpants. It was a train wreck, but it was one of a lifetime experience. I was grateful for it, but thank God I was with her. I could have brought anybody to run the photo booth, thinking I was just there for one night. I was stuck with
But
anybody else.
we've had quite the ride so far, and we're very fortunate for everything that we have. We're fortunate for everybody around the area that's promoted us, that's talked well about us, and I told Drew, I've mentioned this before: gratitude, 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 because you can't make it as a business on your own. You either provide a good service and people talk about you, and you're going to make it. And we've tried to be very humble in what we've earned so far, and we have a big 2026 coming, and we are working on a big 2027. So we're not stopping the wheel at all. But that's pretty much our story.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, there's a ton more you could get into,
yeah.
but with everything that we've had, there's a lot of people that pop up and think that you buy the equipment, you're all of a sudden wedding DJs or your wedding services, and comparison is the thief of all joy. So you constantly compare yourself. You be grateful for what we have, grateful for what we started, grateful for where we built it to, revamping the whole website and branding and logo and equipment. We wouldn't want to be any other people. We just stay true to ourselves, true to the community, and just be the best people we can. People think that we got it made. We're rich, we do this, and that's far from the truth. The amount of expenses and liabilities that we have every single weekend and every single year that we pay into, and we're making it happen. We're doing things the best way we can, and like he said, we're grateful for everybody that helps us out, and everybody
especially
that's in our corner.
Chase Graphics in Putnam has done our branding.
Awesome.
Like I said,
Yep.
Jen,
Yep.
and then Doug Gagnon. Dougie does all of our wrapping. And then of course WINY, Gary and Karen. There's so many other people that have really helped us.
I love that you're naming small businesses.
People respect
we
us.
love
so
them.
great.
Respect
Amy
that.
Brunette. I mean, all these people around here, we'd be nothing without them.
Yeah.
They've just put us up to a different plateau now.
The KBA, Killenly Business
And we don't want to
Association as well.
disappoint anybody. We want to perform the way their expectations are and to provide a valid service, and that's what we want to do. So
Sure.
We're not perfect.
Well said.
yeah.
You're on the platform of not perfect.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, I thank you guys so much for coming
Thank
out
you.
and sharing your story. I love it. I love hearing the stories of all these local entrepreneurs, and I love that you guys push the needle every day. You just push it a little bit more, and that eventually your hard work pays off. So
Yeah.
that's just how it is.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, unless you got any other little stories or anything.
No, we want to
No,
thank
we
you
don't wanna
both
bore
very much
Yeah.
for letting us do this.
Oh, you're
Yeah, we
welcome.
really
For sure.
appreciate it.
Glad to have you.
Sure. Yeah, you're welcome anytime. So if you guys do another expansion or something, we want to
Okay.
know about it. We want to see.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So love watching them grow too.
Yeah.
Such a great thing. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. The Community Workbench family is promoting the Be the One campaign. It was started by the American Legion in efforts to stop veteran suicide. If you know a veteran, call them. Be the one to check in on them. I'll also extend that to any first responders. PTSD is a huge thing that we need to eradicate. So do what you can. Call any emergency service person that you know. Make sure that they're okay. For any details, go to betheone.org or contact the Quiet Corner Peer Support Group. They have really good training and services there. And make sure that all of our first responders and veterans are doing good. Join us again next Monday night at 6, November 24th, when we interview Real Custom Training. The owner, Andrew Morrison, will be here telling us all his story. He does all kinds of custom training for employees and entrepreneurship, and just talking to him, he's like having a shot of caffeine. He's a very motivational guy. As always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, hire a local DJ like Daley's Pours and Daley's DJ Services. Have great days.